Hi quilters, I'm Joyce Grandy with Material Girlz of Florida, and this is my Christmas Quilting in July Part 4 video, and the last in this series. Be sure to click the subscribe button below and ring the bell to see what's up next. This Pinwheel Christmas Tree wall hanging is another pattern by Material Girlz and is available in my Etsy shop as an instant download. I've also put a link in the description below. The star on top and the gifts below the tree are paper pieced. The pinwheel blocks are simply half square triangles, and I did this 4 at a time because I wanted a scrappy look. So 4 half square triangles will give you 1 pinwheel block, and I'm going to demo the technique that I used in this video. Note that I have not yet quilted this piece. I plan on doing my next video on a super easy way to baste any size quilt on a table, so I'll be using this piece for that purpose. And so let's go to demo. And here's how I did the pinwheels. So I start with 2 4.5-inch squares. I have one green one, one background. In this case I'm using grays. You could use beiges or whites. And I sewed around the outside edge, all the ways around the outside edge. I then starched it. And I used just any old cheap starch. This is from Walmart. And the reason I'm starching it is there are some bias edges, and that starch will hold it in perfectly. Makes a huge difference if you're working with bias. So there we go, starch it, starch, starch, starch. And then we're going to take this and we're going to, let me get on camera here, sorry. We're going to cut this diagonally both ways. And here we go. So from corner to corner, I think you can see that pretty good. And then just turn it and cut it other corner to corner. This makes an oversized pinwheel block, and we can trim it down later. So if you're not perfectly accurate, it just doesn't matter. Okay, so there's the 4 pinwheels. And now we're going to press them all to the darkest side. In this case, it's easy because it's all green, but let's just finger press it and then press it. All 4 of them. And I'm using steam because I like steam. I always use steam. I know it's not part of the Quilt Police's deal, but I like steam. And last one. So after we get these pressed, we're going to cut off those little corner pieces, the little ears. I'm going to move you out of the way, and just go around, cut off all 4 ears. Sorry, 2 ears on each block, so there's more than 4. And then here's the most important part when you're doing a bunch of these blocks. Because each one is different, you have to be sure you do each block the same. So by that I mean, now I know for mine, this is how I started. Hang on. Oh my gosh, there we go. That one. Do you see that's half of a pinwheel? And then that one. And then that one. So I would sew these 2 together, press them open, sew these 2 together, press it open, and then sew all 4 together. So just look at the previous one you made and be consistent, because you could do a pinwheel like this too. This would also be a pinwheel, you see, but when you went to put them together, it would not work so well. So just either way is fine, just do it consistently. So once you sew them together, here I have one sewn together, that little point just pops into place because I locked the seams in. And now, I don't know if you've done this before, but you just pop open a stitch on that seam to get it to lay nice and flat. And I'm just using my finger. I could use scissors or something, but I know my finger always works well. And can you see there's a teeny tiny little pinwheel in that center? And that's how you know you've got it right. And the reason you want to do that is when you're quilting it, you don't want your needle to hit a big lumpy bump. So this keeps it nice and flat. There we go. Keep it nice and flat. See how nice steam irons that? And then we'll take our cutting board and square it up. It needs to be 4.5 inches. So take any ruler, and I happen to know for 4.5 inch block, I need to be on the 2.25 inch line. And of course, your little ruler has a diagonal also. So just find the right spot and square it up. You have plenty of room, so if you weren't perfect in your seams, it's just not going to matter. There we go. And let me just do the other one for consistency. And now I can just do the 4.5 inches. Oops, let me get my 4.5 inches. And 4.5, 4.5. So here's 4.5, here's 4.5, and there's my diagonal. And I'm pressing down so it doesn't move, and there we go. Okay, so there's one pinwheel. So in the quilt that I did, in the wall hanging that I did, I wanted all different squares. So you can see I did different color lights on the pinwheel, some whites and grays mixed in, and I also did different color greens because I wanted that scrappy look. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoy making this, and we'll see you next time.